going, guys? Back to another Team Shot video. So, I was thinking today, because the NFL season just ended, and normally today would be the day I go over power rankings. So, I think let's get that done. So, week 7 power rankings, let's go. I think for this list, instead of starting from 1 to the bottom, I'm going to go bottom to top, because that's more interesting. I've learned that from experience and stuff, so let's get right into it. So at 32, I have the New England Patriots. Drake May is like sunlight, as their Texans offensive line could have easily broken literally every bone in his body with how bad the Patriots in general are with their O-line just kind of sucking. May had 40-yard touchdown pass, like an amazing 40-yard touchdown pass. Not amazing, pretty good. And, he got 2 touchdowns, 240 yards. Patriots, there's some, we have hope, Patriots. That's all I can say for you guys. Number 31, I have the Jaguars. And last week I had a power ranking video that I couldn't record because the file got corrupted. But for this week, the Jaguars defense just got worse somehow. And they were at my 28 last week, and they just dropped. They got Tyson Campbell injured and Foyesade Oluokun with his foot injury. I'm sorry for that. I'm not pronouncing that right, but the Jaguars, come on. The Panthers at 30. This is a step up from last week. I don't have any expectations for them. Bryce Young could improve, although Andy Dalton is starting. This is just like one of those teams where they're going to suck. Deal with it, I guess. 29, I have the Cleveland Browns. Oh my god, they suck. Deshaun Watson is really, he should definitely be benched. I know he was a brave prospect coming out, but in all seriousness, no, no he's not. It's really an issue, I think, for the most part, as Deshaun Watson was a really good quarterback, but they're the first team since the 2014 Jaguars to fail to reach 20 points in any of their first 6 games. They have Nick Chubb coming back, but he tore almost everything you can tear in your knee, and we don't really know how good he's going to be, so yeah. 28 are the Titans. Will Levis is not the answer. You can meme around him as long as you want. He's just not it. And there is going to be no way to change that. They're going to have to look for something else. For Titans, I think they should trade DeAndre Hopkins, personally. I think he's just someone who's getting wasted there with Will Levis. And Calvin Ridley, I think same goes for him, even though he had 8 targets last game, and I think he failed to catch a single target. That's probably an issue, but yeah. At number 27 are the Raiders. Now, obviously, we know they don't have a quarterback at all. Brock Bowers is going to be their only receiver as the time of recording this, Davante Adams was traded. Oh, I forgot to mention then, for the Cleveland Browns, they don't have Amari Cooper anymore. They have literally no one. They're just a bare-boned offensive team with nothing. Their defense isn't special either. Yeah. Raiders, again, no Devontae Adams. We already know they're going to go on a rebuild. They don't have a quarterback right now. Brock Bowers is really going to be the only thing, the only bright spot. So, let's go back to 26. I have the Giants. The Giants are still struggling to score points. Their offensive line improved they got Malik Neighbors, and Tyron Tracy has looked pretty good as of recent. But the cap is Daniel Jones, I think, for them, as a lot of these issues on the teams lower on my list. Daniel Jones is the cap, really, and the Giants are 29th in the NFL, averaging 16 points per game. This is after being 30th with only 15.6 last season. They just need to score points, and I don't think they're really going to be able to do that with Daniel Jones being their starting quarterback for the foreseeable future. At 25, I have the Rams. Yeah, the Rams. The Rams, their defense has not been it. Tre'Davious White, I think we'll be back this year. We'll be back from injury after coming off of an Achilles tear. He'll be back. It might be an upgrade, but the Rams need a playmaker as they have Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua out, It's just the Kyron Williams show for them. And again, if they're gonna have any chance of going back from this 1-4 start and potentially making a playoff run in a contested AFC, then they're gonna need to make a play. At number 24, I have the Miami Dolphins. Same reason. I think their ceiling is again capped until Tua comes back with Skylar Thompson or Tyler Huntley. I think it's a Tyler Huntley playing QB. Yeah. But for Dolphins fans, Mike McDaniel did provide a really good news, and he is scheduled to practice around next week. And if he did, I think he will. So he'll be back the latest week 11. So that's good news for Dolphins fans. Although this next week for them is going to be very nice. Number 23, I have the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals, it's a Super Bowl, and their team really hasn't changed much on the offensive side. It's just on the defensive side. Although they got Zach Moss, they did lose Joe Mixon, who was a huge part of that run offense. And Chase Brown has been a nice little pickup for them. Although they are now 2-4 for winning not probably the best win they could have gotten against the Giants, if I'm gonna be straight. They're just trying to find themselves. They need wins, and that is what Ben Baby said, and they're gonna need that. So Barrow said. At 22, I have the Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals are just consistently inconsistent. That's like the best way I can put it. They beat the Bills. They were up by the Bills in the first half and then just died in the second half. They destroyed the Rams. They pushed the Lions and they got blown out by the Commandos. They beat the 49ers and then just got run down by the Packers. The Cardinals are like win by 40, lose by 40. No one really can guess what's gonna happen. Their offensive is like the most volatile in the league. It's unstoppable or just like literal crap, and it's too inconsistent for them really to make any foreseeable push, and that's what I have. 21, I have Denver Broncos. Bo Nix has been decent as they are 3-3, which is better than some of the teams ahead of them. But come on. I get Bo Nix has been a decent has shown moments of hope, but Patrick Surtain being injured for I believe like a week or two is going to be an issue because PS2 is absolutely dominating. But they have Nix just doing little low risk passings, and they're not really even completing enough passes. But for right now, their offense is just going to be struggling. At 20, I have the Indianapolis Colts. And Colts is going to be the most confusing team in the league. Joe Flacco has letting their wide receivers shine for people who play fantasy. And then Anthony Richardson has not, for the sake of it. But they won the same amount of games they won with Anthony Richardson as Joe Flacco. Their 3-3 record is wildly misleading. It's relative, I feel like, on a different viewpoint. It's either an amazing overachievement or just an underachievement, just depending on how you see it. They have a disappointing, their 30th ranked defense, as literally any passing defense that plays against them just cooks. But, this might be also because they lost DeForest Buckner, and on the offensive side, they've lost Jonathan Taylor and Anthony Richardson. If they come back soon, maybe they can reach their ceiling this season, but I don't think it'll be great. I'm sorry, is this 2018? No, this is 19. Damn, am I slow at this? Oh my god. Sorry, it's 19. But at 19, I'm going to go with the Chargers. Chargers are going to be around the same as last year for me. Their defense has changed. Jesse Minter has changed their defense. Since they drafted Justin Herbert, they've had one of the worst defenses, but through these 5 games in 2024, the bright spot for them, they've had one of the best defenses, allowing fewer than 21 points in their first 5 games of the season for the 3rd time in franchise history. Number 18, we got the New Orleans Saints. The Saints 2 weeks was their essential utopia. Now, crashing back down to reality. You know, injuries obviously are an example of this. Kamara was also on a tear the first couple weeks. He still is doing good. But injuries to Chris Olave, which is like the first play of the Buccaneers game, and then also Derek Carr, is going to play a factor, obviously. At number 17, I'm going to go with the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys are, again, so freaking confusing. They beat the Steelers. They got destroyed by 40 to the Saints. And they get destroyed by 40 again to the Lions. They cannot make a mistake. If Dak Prescott cannot throw 2 picks and no touchdowns, that cannot happen. They can't have red zone turnovers like they had last game. And they can't give them extra possessions. It's not going to get easier. The final 11 games are going to be against top 10 quarterbacks, and they need to just play. Dak Prescott can't make errors, and they can't fumble in the red zone, really. Number 16, I have the Bears. Now, I would like probably the Bears to be slightly higher on this list, but for the most part, I think they're going to be here. I get it. The Bears are 4-2, but he's also played not the best teams. I would argue, and he's played the Rams, the Panthers, and the Jaguars the last 3 games. It hasn't really looked great, but again, these are the 3 worst defenses in the league. Obviously, I'm going to give him his credit. He's been looking up, 4-2 for first 6 games of a rookie start is pretty good. It's pretty good, but we're not supposed to overlook the fact that they've played just really, really trash defenses, and it's been pretty good as we go into the bye week. Number 15, I'm going to go with... Is this number 14? Am I tripping? I think I'm tripping. Oh, yeah, I'm not tripping. At number 15, this is a hitter. I'm going to go with the Seahawks. They started 3-0. Crashed back down to earth. It just changes. Over the first 3 weeks, they got Bo Nix, Jacoby Brissett, Skylar Thompson. Now they got Jared Goff, Daniel Jones, Brock Purdy. Really only Jared Goff and Brock Purdy. Daniel Jones is a wild card. They've allowed 35.7 points per game in the last 3 games in their losses, basically. And that's something that they just need to be more consistent on defense. If they can hold their defense to what the first 3 weeks were, although so be it, they were against kind of bad offenses at the time. Yeah. At number 13, number 14, I have the New York Jets. They were going to be a lot lower on my list, but thank God they got Davante Adams. For people who have Garrett Wilson, I'm sorry, you're screwed beyond belief. Because he's looking up to be a low-end wide receiver 1, and now he's going to drop down to a wide receiver 2 flex option. I think even he could go that low, because Davante Adams is the red zone upside. He will get touchdowns. We know he's been Aaron Rodgers' best friend, the best of the best friends, really. They got the instant connection. Davante Adams, they just know each other at this point. They would have been so much lower if they hadn't made that trade, in my opinion. They went up a huge step, and I think they're going to be at 14 on our list. At 13, I have the Falcons. The Falcons are an interesting team, but they're versatile on offense. Kirk Cousins, week 5, had 509 yards, which is, I think, a franchise record, if I'm not mistaken. He didn't really need to do that against the Panthers, because obviously, Panthers. But Falcons had a really good run game with 198 yards total rushing, with Algiers 105 yards and Bijan Robinson's 95 with 2 touchdowns. Atlanta did find its groove. The team is 8th in league in the league in yards per game with 368 yards per game. And Drake London, I think, is really starting to break out into a true wide receiver 1. At number 12, I have the Pittsburgh Steelers. Again, they're just trying to find an offensive identity, but I think before they did beat Las Vegas. It was, again, another questionable team, really. This was part of the best 106 rushing yards Sunday and 183 team total. Najee Harris at 106. This could be better for a running, I guess a new type of running attack, and this could really turn because it might help. Russell Wilson is now back in play, and it might help them opt to replace Justin Fields with Russell Wilson to jumpstart the passing game. Their identity hasn't been worked out yet, but it is looking up for the Steelers. At number 11, I have the 49ers. CMC, they don't have CMC, no Javon Hargrave, no Dre Greenlaw, no Talanoa Hufanga, question me, and also no Jordan Mason. They're really being stretched, I think, to their limits with the running back and defense. It's not going to come easy to them. CMC, we don't know when he's going to come back. We don't know if he's going to come back at all this year. He might even retire for, say, his wife is pregnant. It's going to be tricky for the Niners, I think. I put them here because, they are, after all, the 49ers, and they have a very good team. But there's just so many open-ended questions that we don't really have an answer to yet, and that's why they're going to be at number 11. At number 10, I have, finally, the Philadelphia Eagles. I had them at 11 last week, and this is going to be just bumpy for them. This is the first week that Jalen Hurts finally got back A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. And Saquon Barkley also did not have a good game at all this week. Although this is a win against the Browns. A win's a win. It was very lackluster, though. The Commanders, if you know, the week before looked amazing against the Browns, while the Eagles kind of struggled on offense. And, it is a win is a win, but overall it is a lackluster performance that the Eagles will need to work up from. At number 9, I have the Green Bay Packers. The Packers defense can take the ball away. Green Bay doesn't rank 10 in top 10 in mid yards allowed per game, passing yards per game, rushing yards per carry, third down stop percentage, or red zone defense. But they have 17 takeaways, which leads the league, and 1 on special teams. It's the most through six games of the NFL season since the Bears were on the same pace in 2018. It's just when the Packers get to the postseason, can they still take the ball away from top teams? That's a question that we need to ask. And number 8, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Damn, 51 points, and the Buccaneers are just clicking right now. I know Rashad was injured, but Bucky Irving cooking. Baker Mayfield put up 44 points, I believe it was. And that's just 44, I think it was. And he had 44 points on offense, and a fumble recovery for a touchdown against the Saints. That was just giving up a 25% red zone scoring rate. Sean Tucker was absolutely incredible for them. Someone to look out for. Although it was one good game, still someone to look out for at my number 7. My number 8. At number 7, Wildflower, the Commanders. This is a reference to something else. Commanders are here. Jaden Daniels is legit. They finally played a team that was in the top 5. And the Ravens. And even though this was a loss, this is probably one of the most good feeling losses in the league. They stood up very well to this Baltimore team. Daniel ranks 3rd in the league in his quarterback rating. He's thrown for 1,404 yards and 6 touchdowns, and rushed for an additional 322 yards and 4 touchdowns. He's going to develop, obviously, and this is a very good pick for the Commanders. They finally got their franchise QB. I've been saying it. Although this is a loss to Baltimore, there's still a lot of belief in this team, and I think this is actually a very good loss as they showed who they are as a team in general. Number 6, I got the Buffalo Bills. Don't overreact from last week. It was a close game against the Jets. They finally got Amari Cooper. What can I say? They're going to be higher, obviously. They got true wide receiver 1. Khalil Shakir was not playing 100% that game, too. That is an issue, but they got Amari Cooper. They have a wide receiver 1 and a true wide receiver 1 and wide receiver 2, and Amari Cooper and Khalil Shakir with Dalton Kincaid and James Cook, who will be coming back. And Dalton Kincaid has not really been getting as many targets as usual, but it's fine. At number 5, I have the aforementioned Ravens. Ravens will go as far as their offense. Their defense is not good. Just Lamar and Derrick Henry have made them a number 1 offense. Zay Flowers, as of recent, has been on a tear, really. The defense is struggling against the pass, giving up 24.8 points a game, the third most in team's history. But they're 4-0 this season when they score 24 or more points, but 0-2 when they're held to just 23 or fewer. Their season just rests on their offensive productivity. Their defense has not been great and has been a very pass vulnerable defense, and they're going to need to change that. Number 4, the Houston Texans, 5-1. They could win in the clutch. They are undefeated in 1-score games. Younghoe Koo is a god. He's a clutch kicker. Houston showed it they can win a shootout. They close out the Bears. They can close out defenses. They can score field goals. They can do everything. Although their lineup hasn't been great, and Nico Collins going out is a bit of a blow, the Texans are playing really good right now. At number 3 are the Detroit Lions. The Lions running back core is absolutely just insane. I think they have the best 2 running backs. Like, if you're gonna compare running back core, they have the best in the league. They have a literal 2-headed line with David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs, the best running back duo in the league, as they beat the Cowboys 47-9 and became the first running back duo to each produce 70 or more yards of scrimmage in the first 5 games of the season. Incredible. They solid rushing attacks helps open up the field for people like Jameson Williams, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Sam Laporta. Laporta has not been getting as much, and Amon-Ra is still number 1. Has still been pretty consistent with his receptions and touchdowns. The Lions are just amazing, playing really good right now, and if they can keep this up, it's going to be really good for them. Number 2, I have the Vikings. The Vikings, I'm just going to wait for them to play the games. Their preseason consensus was to finish last in the NFC North, but to do so with a record below 500, partly because of a brutal opening to his schedule mathematically, but 5-0 is more than halfway to ensuring a winning record. They've dominated their opponents with 63 point scoring differential, which is an NFL high, but we're going to have to see how it continues forward. And finally, number 1, you already know it, it's the Chiefs. Blah 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 blah. They lost everyone. They should get DeAndre Hopkins. He's wasted in Tennessee. Blah 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 blah. Their defense is gonna carry them without Rashee Rice. They got no one to pass it to. Travis Kelce. You're the only one on the Chiefs. I still the Chiefs number 1. They have Patrick Mahomes. Their defense is gonna carry them. Blah 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 blah. And they have the referees in their team. I forgot about that. What? The Chiefs are the referees. That's why they're number 1 on the list. Next, the script is written for them. Yeah. That's my weekly power rankings. I'm sorry I didn't do one last week. As I said, I had the recording. It's just it didn't. The file got corrupted for it, and that's okay. So, this is it. This is gonna be my my rankings for the 2024 week 7 going into it. Next time, if you guys want to tell me what video you want to see in just like a second video of the week, I'm thinking about doing fantasy football, or with the NBA season is gonna start up soon, which would be very fun. Obviously, big NBA fan. Hell, the name of the channel is Deep Shot. I feel like we should know that. They will start playing. I believe it is the October 22nd is kickoff. Yeah, October 27th kickoff. We'll start there. I will go. I think I'll do one weekly episode on what's this called? On basketball, and one weekly episode on football, as long as football lasts. You guys can ask what type of videos you want. You want me to go over plays? You want me to go over players? You want me to go over literally any highlights, anything you want me to go over? Just tell me in the comments. And that's really gonna be all for now. So thanks, peace. Please subscribe. I need a comment, like. You do all the stuff you know to do. Okay, bye.